If this were to happen now, it would be our top story, front page headlines. But 100 years ago, it was buried on page 6 in the Laurel Outlook.
In this column with basically gossip.
On April 1st, 1925, Laurel Public Schools closed for the week.
It was like, Mr. and Mrs. Smith went to visit Mr. and Mrs. Jones, and here's what they had for dinner, and the column was this long. And then right in the middle of it was, oh, and by the way, school was canceled because of an outbreak of measles.
We know this now thanks to a popular column in the Laurel Outlook showcasing what was happening 25, 50, 75, and 100 years ago.
Is done by Stacy, and she has been at the Outlook for over 30 years. She goes through meticulously newspapers.com, and she looks for items that are relevant today.
Fast forward 100 years, and measles are coming back to the spotlight.
Measles is one of the most contagious infectious disease kind of known to mankind.
Infectious disease specialist at Billings Clinic, Dr. Neil Koo, says the measles pathogens linger in the air for an extended period of time. For every one person contagious, many others are at risk.
18 susceptible persons compared to, let's say, COVID-19, even though we just came out of the pandemic, and we're talking about 2 to 3. So it's definitely much more contagious.
As the outbreak spreads in Texas to over 420 cases, it's also spilled over to surrounding states.
It's going to be pockets of Montana where we're probably going to see cases.
In 1925, there was no vaccine for measles, but Dr. Koo says now it's the best way to stay protected. But a recent decrease in vaccinations has changed the landscape.
It's really getting as many individuals up to date is going to be the best protection.
In 2000, measles was not spreading in the U.S., and new cases only came from abroad travel.
To actually say, I've seen a case of measles, no.
With the hope to not travel back in time.
There's a general epidemic of German measles and scarlet fever.
What happened before the availability of the vaccines, there were a fair bit of hysteria.
In Laurel, Haley Monaco, MTN News.